Control grid's an interesting thing. A lot of people don't realise what they're involved in. Just the simple fact of using credit cards, using smartphones, and all of this automated system is the problem. People don't realise what it is. This system we're being led into is the New World Order in itself. The 5G smart grid is the New World Order, the Internet of Things. It's the New World Order. People don't really understand how that works, but what it's about is monitoring every single aspect of your life. The smart grid is being presented to people as this thing that's going to be highly beneficial to us. You'll only be using the electricity that you use, you'll only be paying for that, all this sort of stuff. So it's been presented as a really positive thing. But what it will do, it will put a dollar value on absolutely every aspect of your life. So that every time you turn on a tap, the credit goes. Every time you turn on a light, every time you watch your TV, every time you boil your jug, every time you do anything, there's a dollar value attached to it.
What's happening is there's a digital barrier that's been created between us and reality, and us and nature, and we're getting to the point where we're going to have to need a mobile phone and a passcode to get into a park, or to get into our car, or to do any normal things, so society is being restructured into this digital AI reality, and this surveillance mechanism is constructed in such a way that it will weed out dissenters like you and me.
What is life? And what is the meaning of life? Does life even have a meaning? Life is consciousness, and it is learning to understand what this consciousness is, what it means, and also to understand where this consciousness lies, where it exists in the realm of things. People will say, well, it exists within your head, within your brain. But even as you say this, you know that the statement simply can't be true because it's just too big.
Reality is much more complex than any judgment of right or wrong encourages you to believe. When you really understand the ethical, spiritual, social, economic and psychological forces that shape individuals, you will see that people's choices are not based on a desire to hurt. Instead, they are in accord with what they know and what worldviews are available to them. Most are doing the best they can, given what information they've received and what problems they are facing.
And get ready for the big storm, because it is coming, folks. You've got to really be prepared for this. And I think we're going to get through it, but I think it's just going to be a process. It's going to get a lot uglier yet, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just up to you to stay strong and stay focused through this period. And again, a lot of people write to me and say, well, what about my son? What about my daughter? What about my siblings? And these are good questions, but ultimately it's a personal soul choice for every single individual through this time.
Everything that exists, everything within all creation, manifests through the harmonic vibration of light and sound. Everything that exists is light and sound. Everything that exists is, at its most basic form, simply pure energy. And energy is the stuff that drives the universe itself. All things are created from this energy. If you really get down to it and look at reality on a quantum level, it's all about different vibrational frequencies of light and sound. Everything.
You do what you can for those around you, but you also do what you can for you. And no matter what you do for others, it's still going to come to that point where they've got to make that soul choice, and they're the only ones who can make that choice. So this is a time when everybody needs to find their own personal strength, their own personal individuality, and to believe in themselves.
Now, when you really begin to get a grasp on this, and you really begin to figure out what's going on here, and you realize that the body is simply a biological computer that's downloading a specific frequency that you experience as yourself, you really begin to question why human consciousness is in such a disunited state. You begin to see how easy it would actually be to change reality. And you have to also begin to question how we got into this disunited state.
To realize, sure, we're all one, we're all connected, but at the same time, we are completely alone, we're completely individual. It's a separate experience for each one of us, So you've got to be prepared for that. You know, I do what I can to help people around me and to help others. I mean, that's why I do this. That's why I do what I do, just to try to help the world wake up to themselves. But ultimately, when it comes to that moment, it's my choice. It's my sole choice. And no matter what information I've imparted to other people, when it comes to that moment, it's their sole choice. I can't make that decision for them.
And you see, one of the biggest obstacles to you ever accessing these higher senses and ever understanding this language is fear. It's the vibration that fear sets up within your body, within your system, within your whole energy field. And this is why our entire society and everything about it is all based on fear.
All that thought and all that memory. Just stop and look inside yourself and truly perceive your thoughts just for a moment. It's so vast, this realm of space that lies within consciousness. It feels like a whole universe in there, doesn't it? And yet it lies within intangible nothingness. And it feels like that because that's exactly what it is. Nothing. Nothingness, but conscious.
As I said, it's fear-based mind control. They control your mind so that you don't perceive anything outside of a left brain reality. You don't perceive anything outside of the 5 sense perception that you have of reality.
It's certainly something worth considering. And what is nothingness? Well, Alan Watts summed it up more than eloquently in a statement he made when he said that nothing is what your head looks like to your eyes, and that nothingness is what's watching. And I truly can't think of a better description. Nothingness and consciousness coexists in that space behind your eyes. You can't have something here without having that nothing there.
You begin to see that there really is nothing to fear, and that the only real problem is the vibration of fear itself. That's the problem.
You better be prepared to be able to face infinity without flinching. No stake in the outcome. You can see that light at the end of the tunnel. Keep your soul focused. So that's the key, I think, that a lot of people have got to come to terms with. Don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. You know, the battle's really just about to begin. It's just about to begin in earnest. So yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet, folks. Absolutely, we're going to reach this. We're going to get through this, but we are heading into a very, very dark tunnel. You're on the boat and you're riding through the horror show, you know, the little boat ride through the amusement park, and you're watching all the house of horrors on your side, horrible and terrible things happening around them. You're going to see a lot of stuff which is going to cause people's minds to just about implode. And you've got to be able to just face the shadow. If you've never looked at the shadow and you've never been able to face the shadow, well, you're about to move directly through that shadow. So you better be prepared for it.